Hi guys, welcome to Black Diesel Garage, and in this video I take my basically brand new Ford 6.2, probably around a 1,000-mile, 1,200-mile round trip to Arkansas with the Toyota on the back of here, and then this crew cab back to Kansas. I'm a little tired, I did it through mostly the night, but I'm gonna have how much fuel I spent, what the average fuel consumption was on the truck for the trip, and yeah, all that stuff. So let's get into it. Well guys, here we are hooked up with a full tank. This truck holds 30 gallons. I went 400 miles on one tank. I haven't done the math yet to see what the fuel economy is on it. Now I'm towing a trailer so I can see the difference in that once I actually do the math. We're towing this around 500, I think almost 600 miles, 8 hours away to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And we're gonna come back with one of my crew cab diesels on the back. So we're gonna see how it does towing probably around 12,000 miles. Truck only has almost 13,000 on it now. So let's see. Well, so far I've gone around 130 miles and the truck runs great, but I got a whopping 8.8 miles per gallon. So that's gonna be fun. This trip's gonna be a little more expensive than I thought, especially when I come back with a heavy truck. Truck seems to run pretty good. I filled up at half a tank just because it was a good opportunity to fill up right now. So I went ahead and did that. But yeah, 8.8 miles per gallon towing, and it's 13 miles a gallon non-towing. So that's what we're getting so far. I'm gonna get back on the road. All right, so I made it 2 hours, 10 minutes away, used a hair over 3/4 of a tank from my last stop. I think I went 220 miles and I got 10 miles a gallon. So just a little bit further to go to my destination and a little better on fuel economy. So give you an update when I get there, I guess. All right, so it's 12:40 and I made it to the camper. Got a little under half a tank of fuel left. And now I just gotta unload the Toyota, try to get this thing shoved around backwards and stuff and load it up. And then I can fuel up because I'm close to a fuel station and hit the road again. That way I won't have to stop in Little Rock because there's a lot of construction going on there right now. So I'm gonna get to swap the things around. Hopefully that goes on the trailer okay. Man, I am sweating from running around. I put you guys on the other side of the truck. This side would have been more interesting, but I was afraid of a car coming off the road, driving through here and running my phone over, because that's what I used to record. But this side would have been a little more interesting, but I was trying to hurry because this Toyota overheats when it sits and idles. So I had to hurry, but I had to get in and out a million times to make sure I got it right the first shot. And right now I'm at a standstill. I shut everything off so that can not get warm at the moment and maybe cool off a little bit. I'm sweating from running back and forth. But I took these belts, looped them together, make a long tow rope. And I did rub the taillight with the rope getting it up here, but it wasn't barely nothing. I didn't hurt anything. There was barely any pressure, but I did rub it. Had to jackknife the truck just a little bit more to make it get over so it wouldn't push the taillight hard. I got the truck up this far and it looks promising so far. The truck is squatted a good bit, which is better than if it was not squatted. The bad thing is I have to pull with a little more force, so squat the truck even more. You don't want to make your steering light in the front end, but you do want to squat a little bit, just so you know you have tongue weight so it doesn't go crazy. I still have a ways I could come forward with it. The biggest deal is these tires on the dually half is gonna hit these fenders, which might not be a bad thing, because I don't barely have enough room to flip these ramps in the upright position. With the tail of this truck being pretty low, and how they camber over, they'll smack into the truck. But the duals hitting the fenders and being that close might just help me. First I'll try with a jack, but I might have to pull the truck forward more, get them duals on top of the corners of those fenders so the back end kicks up in the air so I can close these ramps, and then I could roll it back if I need. And then it'll be easier at home to get it off with a skid steer. But as of now, I need to get it over the ramps. So that's what I'm gonna work on next. I'm just gonna leave everything sitting there. If I'm under there with a jack lifting up on the back end, I'm leaving the Toyota and everything hooked up so it doesn't roll back and squish me. But I'm gonna work on trying to get those ramps up now, which might be a really huge chore, and that's one thing I was worried about. Alright, so that took me way longer than it needed to. I should have started off doing the right thing as always, but I started the other way, hardest way. It wouldn't work to pull it up on the fenders. I couldn't get it jacked high enough. So I wound up pulling off the tires, but my impact battery was barely charged. So I wound up having to do it with a breaker bar, which isn't a big deal. But I just didn't want to do that, so I tried everything else first and just wasted time. But now, it's all strapped down. Outer duals are on the front of the trailer, and I was able to roll it way forward to drop the ramps down and then roll it back to take some weight off the tail end of the truck. Looks like it's still kicked up a good little bit, but not as bad as it was. So now I'm gonna get some fuel and let you guys know my last fuel mileage I got. Well, I'm fueling up again, and I got 9 miles to the gallon this time. So not quite as good. Let's see now what I get with a heavier truck on there. It's all loaded up, and it looks like someone had a way worse day than I did. It could always be worse. Lost both axles on one side, and now they just have a stranded truck here with pallets and busted out axles. So that wouldn't be fun. Well, I'm gonna finish fueling up and hit the road. Well, I only went to 120 miles last night, so I didn't make it very far. I went to Love's and I'm still here. I took about a 2-hour nap, I think is what it was. And I got 8 miles per gallon coming over here. So, didn't do any better on fuel, but didn't do any worse despite having more weight on the back. So I just fueled up, reset my trip meter, and got some coffee. I'm about to hit the road. And for those of you that haven't seen this truck, I'll go ahead and give you a look around this truck. So here's the truck. It's a 96 crew cab 6.9 diesel, 4-speed, 2-wheel drive. Of course, I took the duals off it last night. I do like the look of that bed. I don't know why. It's not how I would technically build a bed, but for some reason I like it. I don't know, last night I kind of contemplated pulling it off this truck and putting it on that truck with the dually kit I have, rather than later on down the road getting some nice rims and tires and a pipeline bed, just throwing that on with the dually kit that I have. But then I wouldn't have a bed for this, and I'm going to sell this, so it looks pretty good together. I'll just leave it all together and sell it the way it is. But I drove it back and forth quite a bit, state to state, a couple trips. Pulled my camper at work. Pulling a camper down the highway was a bit slow, but not towing a load, it was kept up with highway speeds just fine, not towing. Pretty cool looking old truck. I'll probably swipe my visor off when I go to sell it, and I'm definitely pulling the bush guard off for that black truck I have. It's a 4-wheel drive, if you haven't seen it. Well, I just pulled up to Love's to get fuel. I'm halfway home. I got four hours left. I forgot to look at the miles I got left. And I was 3/4 of a tank down. So I fueled up and did the math, and I got 6.5 miles per gallon. It was pretty hilly, but not too good. That's about the worst yet, 6 miles a gallon. But I'm all fueled up, halfway home, and I'm gonna hit the road again, so. Talk to you guys again when I need to spend a bunch of money on fuel again. All right, well, it's back. I'm gonna get it kicked off the trailer here. The last time I got fuel, which I showed you guys, I forgot to clear the odometer, so I haven't got fuel again, but I don't know to get to the destination here how the mile per gallon I got on the last tank I put in there. So I don't know that because I didn't clear the odometer and I forgot what it was showing for miles. But I will at the end figure out my receipts and see how much I spent on fuel, because I bet it was a lot of fuel back and forth. I'm gonna get this thing kicked off here because I gotta go return the trailer, but it made it here. Oh yeah, and I took a shower. I just hopped in the shower real quick when I got here because I'm tired and beat. Alright guys, so it's about a month later and I have not reviewed the end of that video, so I don't quite remember how I left it off. I do know I filmed everything alright, except for I don't think I remembered to clear my miles out on the last fuel stop. So on my receipts when I added them up, I added an extra $50 to them. But that whole trip down there and back, but I think it was around 1,000 or 1,200 miles, something like that. I wound up spending $450 on fuel to haul down to Arkansas and hauling on my way back. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that was informational to you, especially if you were thinking about getting one of these Ford 6.2 gas trucks. I really like the truck. Seems to be a really good truck so far. I've heard a lot of good things about them lasting pretty well. And that fuel cost wasn't great, especially when I was at the pump paying $50, $70, $90 a fill up. When I added it up for all that miles, I don't think that was that bad of a fuel price. I assume on a newer diesel truck, it'd actually probably be more than that because your fuel costs more per gallon. And also, everyone I know with the newer diesel trucks, when they tow, they get 10 to 6 miles a gallon, closer to 6 to 8. And I did get those numbers too, but they are the majority of the time. So there's a good chance it actually could have been more gallons and more expensive gallons too. But I don't know. I don't have a diesel, so I really don't know that. On the older diesels, like the one I've hauled and I've owned in the past, they do get good fuel economy the whole time. You will get, probably at the worst, I would probably normally get in one of those old trucks 17 miles a gallon, 16 miles a gallon towing like that. And they get around 18, 17 non-towing. So they're great for fuel economy, and they don't have all the DPF system on them and don't just drag down in the fuel economy when you're towing. But yet it is hard, especially pulling a camper or something that's boxing, catches a lot of wind, to go good highway speeds like the newer vehicles can with our newer speed limits compared to back in the 80s when those trucks were made and they were hauling down the highways. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. All the support is greatly appreciated. All the liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. We love that. It really helps boost the channel. So we'll catch you on the next one on Black Diesel Garage. See you guys.